So I'm just starting this video because I had a feeling I should talk about it. And I had a feeling that it's a really important thing that needs to be said. And it's so important that a lot of people just ignore it, even though, I don't know, it just go over other people's head. And the whole point, the whole thing is, what does it mean to become a man, or what does it mean to be a man, right? What does it mean to be a man? That's a question I have been chasing. That's a question that I've been asking. That's a question that a lot of men, or a lot of boys, or a lot of young adults does not understand or doesn't have an answer to. It's because they are not taught what it means. Even I had a question about this until recently, because I always thought that in order to become a man, or what a man is just when you grow old, when you reach 18 or something, when you have this and that. And recently I was listening to a podcast about what it means to become a man. And they're talking about this thing about, in some tribe, when you are this age, you go out and hunt a lion, and you don't come back until you get the lion. And that means you are a man. So that's their ritual. That's the ritual to become a man. And what is our ritual to become a man in Christianity, or in United States, or in my country? Because a lot of men are suppressed and told to become more feminine, to get in touch with their feminine sides. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that you are not meant to be a whole feminine, just like a woman. And you guys can argue with this or whatever. I said what I said, and I'll stand by it, and I'll die in that mountain. I don't care. I'll die on that hill. A man is supposed to be a man. A man is supposed to be a servant to Christ, to his children, to his wife, to his people. Not a servant like a slave, but more a servant as someone who is giving, who is humble, who knows humility, who knows when to give or when to not give, or when to do this or when to not do this. A man is to be somewhat dangerous, but yet calm, yet be able to hold his anger down, and control himself, control danger that's he's holding. That's what a man is supposed to be. A man is supposed to be a servant to his children. Basically, he knows how to serve his children, not because he created those children with his wife, or you adopted the children. No, it's your responsibility as a man to be able to provide and serve for your child, so that they can become like you. They can understand what it means to become a man, because you're going to become a leading example for those children, for other people in your surrounding. And for the woman, a man to your wife, or like a servant to your wife, is basically the same thing. You have to serve your wife in a way that you would serve your children. You got to provide. And for me, it's hard, because I always wanted to become a child. I never had a good childhood. In fact, I don't remember most of my childhood. It's been wiped out of my memory. I'm not lying to you. It's just I had a memory where I'm just standing there. So I always wanted to become just a child. And until I get hit with this, thoughts, and until I came face to face with this situation where I'm forced to become a man. I'm forced to leave my parents' house. I'm forced to break up with this woman that I like, that I love. I'm forced to, do this and that, just so that I can understand what it means to become a man. you have to be a provider. That's what it means to become a man. You have to be strong. You have to know your strength. You have to become a dangerous person, and yet at the same time not use that strength to hurt other people. You have to become humble and understand what it means to understand what it means to have humility in you, to bow your head whenever you need something that you cannot acquire. For example, how to say that better, because my English is not that good. My mother, there's a memory of me going with my mother, and this memory, because we were so poor, right? My dad was not there. He wasn't the man that my mother can have, or he wasn't the man that my siblings and I can have. So my mother took me to my grandpa, who's now deceased, also is my mother. And my grandpa didn't even leave the room. My grandpa is basically in his house on the second story, and then I saw my mom begging for money. And my mom was basically kneeling downstairs in front of the stairs where my father is at, inside the room, where the whole time he didn't even open the door. And that's mostly what I remember. She was asking for money so that she can provide. Mind you, we were basically poor. We were living in a slum, That's mostly what I remember. I don't know why I wasn't in school then, because probably I was sick most of the time. And yeah, if you're a man and you cannot provide for your children, and you have someone who can this, don't be so stubborn that you cannot ask. You cannot bow your head, you cannot kneel down and this and that. It's okay. It's not for you, it's for your children. Do not become so hard-ass or so stubborn that you will let your children die. You're a man, you have to provide. And for those young men who are basically 14, or I don't know, if you're a lot more mature for your age, or you are someone who's in the age of 30 or 31, where I'm going to in March, don't be stubborn. Know your place where you need to know your place. I'm not saying this is not anything bad. You have to become humble when it comes to providing, or when it comes to learning things. Always be a student. What I learned most in my 20s is that you don't need all the fancy cars, all the fancy clothes, all the money in the world, all this like having sex or doing drugs or doing alcohol, or all these things that the world will bring you. What you think is happiness is not happiness. It's temporarily distraction so that you can avoid everything else. Learn your way in becoming a man. Have a ritual. You don't have to kill a lion. Have a ritual where you can have all the things that you needed in order to become a man, in order to become a provider, in order to become someone strong enough to be able to protect those whom you needed to serve. Because you need to become a servant in your community, in your children, of your wife, and this doesn't mean just become, what they say, like a man is only worth because he can provide. No. In front of your father's eyes, you are his child. Nobody else wants you to be better other than themselves, other than your father. Your mother, wants you to become a better person, all this, your neighbors, your community wants you to become a better person, but your father wants you to become better than himself, just like how my father wants me to become better than him. I don't know, I failed him, I guess. I'm still a terrible person, I'm still someone who's doing this. Just because, I'm going through the same thing doesn't mean I don't know more than you. I don't know this and that. Or just because I'm going through the same, I'm still learning things, doesn't mean I don't know anything. It means I've fucked up so many times that I'm able to talk about it, because I've learned and I've earned humility in order for me to be able to speak about this thing. So if you want to become a man, go out, not party, go out in the world and learn what it means to become a man. You will learn what it means to become other people. It's not the depressing things, like you're worth just because you can provide. No, it's not. You will be appreciated a lot. You'll make it easier for other people that you're serving. But that doesn't mean you're worth less just because you couldn't provide. You have to tap into the person that you have to be, because a man is supposed to be, there's a thing in the Bible that says God first, a man, and a woman second, because a woman was created to become a helper of a man. So therefore, a man will serve God and everything else, and the woman will serve a man. Stand by, I don't give a damn. You can talk bad about it, but that doesn't mean it's gonna change. That is what it is, physically, mentally, and a man will become a lot more than a woman in many ways, but that doesn't mean a woman cannot become too. It's just, I'm saying, physically and mentally, a man is, born and created strong, supposedly created strong, instead of becoming more feminine, And when a woman's are more in love with their man, they become more feminine. That's what I needed to say, okay? Some of y'all will argue like, oh yeah, you have to tap into your femininity, whatever. Sure. For a man, you have to become strong and loving. You have to understand what it means to love. You're gonna get hurt a lot, because you're stupid and because you don't want to learn. So I'm telling you now, learn what it means to become a man and accept humility. Always become a student instead of trying to be so better and become, a teacher. You don't need to become a teacher all the time. You just have to become a student all the time in order for you to learn more. And you don't have to become so dangerous. Just know what it means to be able to protect the thing that you need to protect. Your community, your people, your wife in the future, hopefully, and your children, the thing that you need to serve, and become a better person for God and follow God for the things that you need to follow Him for. So, for those of you guys, my last thing that I have to tell you, understand what it means to become a man instead of becoming just a young adult obsessed with all these distractions that's taking you away from God. Amen. God bless you. Take care.